and welcome to another gluten-free and yeast-free baking video. How we doing today? Today I am making gluten-free Tanya Burr Chocolate Cookies. The reason they are called this is because Tanya Burr made a chocolate cookie recipe and it inspired me to do my own. So, you will need the following equipment: spray oil, scales, tablespoons. These are optional. You can do it with your hands or an ice cream scoop, but for today I'm going to use tablespoons. A spatula, mixing bowl, wooden spoon or an electric hand whisk, baking paper, cookie sheets or baking trays. I like to use 2 because the cookies spread a little bit, and a cooling rack. You will also be needing the following ingredients: 100 grams of butter softened at room temperature. I like to use lactose-free butter. 150 grams of caster sugar, half an egg beaten. This is currently 1 whole egg and I will show you how to half it. 138 grams of gluten-free self-raising flour, and 15 grams of cocoa powder. Let's go! First things first, you're going to want to measure out all of your ingredients, and I think that this is the perfect time for me to tell you how to measure out half an egg. So, what I like to do, it's not a foolproof method, but this is what I like to do. Turn on my scales, have 2 bowls, one with a beaten egg already in it, and one without. Place your bowl that is empty on your scales, turn your scales to 0, and pour in... Where's my spatula? Now that I've got my spatula, now pour in all of your egg into your secondary bowl, making sure to get all the little bits, because otherwise, well, what's the point of having a whole egg, really? Okay, so that for me measures 46. Now half of that is 23. I'm not saying it to make you sound stupid, I'm saying it because I'm rubbish at maths. So, okay, now it's turned to 47. We're going to keep it at 46 because it's easier to divide and it doesn't have to be exactly even. This is just how I have found the recipe to work. So, oh, now you're 48. What are you doing? Hang on. Now we're 49. 48. Okay, we're going to go with 48 because that's 24. Okay, that's bottom line. We're doing that. Honestly, why is this so difficult? Put your first bowl that you had the egg in originally back on your scales, like I just did without telling you. Great instructions, Vicky. And now pour in the beaten egg until you reach 24. That's what we said, wasn't it? 24 on your scales. Doing it tiny, tiny bits at a time. So you've got a rough idea of how well it's doing. 23. Scared, guys. Oh, it was on 24, now it's on 25. Shoot. Now, just pour the tiniest bit back in to your original bowl. There we go. Scrape off that bit so it doesn't fall. And now make it the right number. 25, right, okay, I'm leaving it at that. I'm not arguing with this anymore. It doesn't have to be exactly right, guys. I just like to try and make it as right as possible because I am too much of a perfectionist. And now that you've split your eggs apart, keep the bowl that equals the correct amount with your ingredients. And then with your spare egg, you could add it to make an omelette. You could fry it. There are endless possibilities with it, or you can use it to make another batch of cookies. After you have measured out all of your ingredients, preheat your oven to 200 degrees C on a conventional oven, 180 degrees C on a fan oven, or gas mark 6. The first thing you're going to want to do is mix together your butter and your sugar in a mixing bowl, not just out of nowhere. And now just sprinkle on your caster sugar. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. And mix together until light and fluffy. Now grab your half an egg. Now that you've got your egg, just add it into your mixture. It would help if I could hold the bowl. And mix until well combined. grab your gluten-free self-raising flour and your cocoa powder. Now this is a good time for your tablespoon to be brought in. Now that you've grabbed your gluten-free self-raising flour and your cocoa powder, begin mixing and add a tablespoon of your flour, mix it in until fully incorporated, mix it in until fully mixed, and then grab a tablespoon of your cocoa powder and mix, and continue doing that till both your cocoa powder and your gluten-free self-raising flour are mixed in completely. Once you've done that, scrape down the sides of both your cocoa powder bowl and your flour bowl, just to make sure that everything's in there. That's one. Oh, and I gave up in the end, by the way, using the tablespoon. It wasn't working with the cocoa powder, and then it just became too little of an amount to do the tablespoon with this flour, so do it whichever way you prefer. You don't have to copy me. It's just thought that counts, hopefully. And now scrape down the sides of your bowl. This isn't going to be like cake batter, because obviously this is cookies, so it's going to be a lot firmer. But that's okay. And it's supposed to resemble cake batter. Don't worry, you're not being daft or gone wrong if that's how yours has turned out, because mine's turned out fairly like that as well. I should have stopped. I shouldn't have tapped before I continued talking, but never mind. So now that you've scraped down everything, scrape down the sides of your bowl, scrape down your flour and cocoa bowls, mix again one more time until everything is completely, fully combined. Now that everything is mixed and fully combined, grab your cookie sheets or baking trays, whatever you have access to, your baking powder, your baking paper, and your cooking spray or spray oil. Now you remember that other tablespoon I was telling you about? This is when it comes in handy. Okay, so what we're going to do is grab our baking paper, measure it to the size of your baking tray or your kitchen sheet, your cookie sheet. Fit it to size. Pop your baking paper out of the way. Do a quick spritz on your cookie sheet so that the baking paper sticks to it. This just makes it easier to do the paper doesn't fly everywhere when you do it. And then give your baking paper a quick spritz as well, just so that the cookies don't stick to it. And now, grab your tablespoons. Grab a tablespoon or over a tablespoon, as I've done, of mixture and place it onto your cookie sheet or baking tray. This mixture does spread, but I am trying to keep it as round as possible and not close to the edges. Obviously with spreading, it's not a good combination. I tend to put 3 on one baking sheet and then 2 on another. And one more. Oh, that's a big boy. We need to spread that. That is a big boy actually, hang on. See, it's alright to make mistakes, guys, because I have. I also try and flatten them and keep them round, just so that they try and keep their shape when cooking, because as I say, they spread out. Alright, so that's those 3 done. Now on to the next 2. Now, scrape down the sides of your bowl with your spatula. To keep as much of this mixture together as we can. And so we don't lose any in the washing up, which I know I am incredibly guilty for. 1 tablespoon. Oh, I forgot to spray. Don't forget, guys, don't do me, don't do a Vickiie. Hashtag don't do a Vickiie. And then other one. Blimmin' heck. Why is this all going wrong for me? There we go. Right. Now, grab your last bit of mixture. Oh, straight on my hand. Done well. Flatten that out. Round it off. Now that you've done that, place these cookies into your preheated oven for 11 minutes, and then after that exact amount of time, take them out of the oven, leave them to cool on their trays for 10 minutes, and then, although they will be fragile, transfer them to a cooling rack and leave them to cool for a further 20 minutes. Now that your cookies have had their 11 minutes to cook and their half an hour cooling time, mine are completely cool to the touch, but yours may not be, so just be careful. And that is it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Check out all the links in the description, as I love them and I wouldn't put them there if I didn't, including the recipe for these lovely cookies and my shop where you can buy the flour and all the equipment you will need for this recipe. If you do make these at home, be sure to use the hashtag bakingwithvickiie, which I will put in between my hands. Let me know in the comments of anything you'd like to see me do in general on this channel, be it trying things, tags or challenges. I'm up for anything. Also let me know in the comments anything you'd like to see me make gluten or yeast free, as I do both. And also, finally, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time. Bye! Right, I'm going to try one for you because I just have to, and they look so yummy. Oh. Mmm.